we're back. Okay, so where we left off was we were booleaning with the aircraft carrier into the block. And as you see here, if you look, you see this kind of bulge here. What exactly is happening is the boolean from the bear is being is coming out, so it's inversing the boolean. So if you have a boolean inside of it that is doing this, so for instance, if we go inside here and we grab the bear and we move him up slightly, you see more butt bear, you know. And so that's what's happening. So to prevent that from happening, what you can do is go in here and say create single objects. And sometimes that affects it. Other than that, you would have to you have to kill this boolean. And so now it's creating a single object out of that. Of course, now it's having some difficulty. Anyways, we're just gonna go back to this. That's once you get the object that you like, you can start adjusting things like that later on. But for our purposes right now, it's not necessary. So I think we need more definition down there. So we're gonna almost turn that boat sideways and just get him in there, you know. He just really needs to kind of cut through there pretty good. And that's looking pretty good there. Now, you see in here how it's cutting through, though? What we can do is we can go in here and click on this guy, on the aircraft carrier, and start to adjust these. You know, you can start to grab these and then, adjust the crease of it. And then we'll start changing the way it affects that aircraft carrier. Anyhow. Alright, so if we turn the other layer back on, so now we see our aircraft carrier is kind of sitting in there. There's a little bit of the base cut out. And now let's take one of our other objects we have here and start to apply something with him. Maybe this thing doesn't really sit on the ground properly, so we're going to pull this guy down here, get his good side, and what we're going to do is we're going to kind of act like we animate him a little bit. He needs to be a little bigger, so let's make him 30. Yeah, so he's a little bit bigger. We're trying to knock that edge off the aircraft carrier. Even bigger. There we go. So, and let's switch sides. Looks like he's hugging that corner. Okay. Alright, so then now we can take, we got two sets now. We got the aircraft carrier. So we got aircraft carrier here, A carrier, and then this is base. And so we're going to take A carrier and drop it into C, and then drop Metroid into there. And so now you see the Metroid is taking out that corner, and so move that over. Okay, so he's going in that way, and we'll rotate him a little bit. And then now we're going to take that same one, take base, and drop it into D. And then we're going to copy Metroid into the base too. Alright. So now you see that's starting to eat into the base. We're going to move it over a little bit, like it hit a couple different spots. You know? And then maybe rotate him around. The flicker is when it doesn't work. And you also see when you start beginning to cross areas, you know, see that one's working pretty well. So, yeah, something like that. And then when you take the Metroid back out, and you can see that he sits in there, and then we're going to adjust where he sits. Like we try to get him, like a dog that rolled around, you know? And maybe he's a little big now. So we're dropping down to maybe 35. And get him inside there. Oh. So he kind of floats awkwardly inside those Booleans. You know? Like he found a place where he wanted to sit. Right in there. Alright. Now we got this dumbbell over here. It looks like it's kind of hard for the bear to stand up there. So let's move this guy over here. Get him underneath there. So maybe, you know, something like that. You know. And then maybe he could actually act as like a cutting mechanism. You know. He kind of cuts into that shape. Make the dumbbell quite a bit bigger. So get it kind of where you want it before you start cutting him. Yeah. And so now we take that dumbbell and copy it a couple times. And we drop D into E, and then drop the dumbbell into there. Alright, as you can see. Oh, D's the base, so never mind, that was wrong. So D's the base, and then we're going to drop C into there. As you see, it starts to cut in. And then, keeping the dumbbell in the same spot, we'll go down into the bear, and then we'll drop the F in there, and we'll drop the bear into F, and then we'll drop another dumbbell inside the F one. That's going to take a second. Okay, so you see what happened? Because the dumbbell's in the same spot, the other dumbbell cancels it out. So as you can see, it's there. So, plus that's not the right bear. Anyway, so then we make a new Boolean for the other bear, and the dumbbell would take out that bear, as you see. But you see it's disappeared, so there it is. So, see, now that's cut through. Alright, so now, as you see, everything is cut through. And now let's start to trim this. You know, it still looks too much like an aircraft carrier, doesn't it? And too much like a bear. So let's start to trim this guy off. I think I want another dumbbell too. And I want him a little bit smaller. You know, maybe quite a bit smaller. So it looks like it's stuck in there. There we go. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and say this is our E carrier, and then this is our bear, and this is our Metroid, this is our dumbbell. We probably want to drop some of this in here. So now he's smooth, but you see he's still got this on there. So now we're going to take a little bit of this stuff on the dumbbell, and let's make him a little smooth. If you're having problems with the model, you can always just turn things off. You know. Just get some smoothing on that guy so he doesn't look so faceted. And same thing on the bear. You know, if you go inside the bear, go dump, and then get inside of here and grab some of these inside curves, you can start to affect the cut itself. You see? And it's already smoothed up that inner side a little bit. Alright. Same thing with the bear. You know, he's a little too smooth on the face right there. So we could just, you know, grab his face, smooth his face down. See? There we go. Alright. So now let's start to carve into this thing. So we need to get everything into one thing. So what we do is we highlight everything. Alt G, it groups it together, and we'll call that object. And then we'll do another Boolean, and we'll drop that inside of it. And we'll go inside here and we'll take the cut out, of course. And then we'll move this kind of where we want it. So if you make sure you're clicked on the top one, you can kick in your adjustment layers here. And one thing to know about the cut too is if you look down here in the object, under this menu down here, and this thing that says segments right here, adjusting this can affect the cut itself. Okay, so it looks like our time's up on this one. I'll see you in the next one. Sorry for cutting it quick. See you in a second.